Sometimes skateboarders will see a piece of architecture and almost become hypnotized by it. And that's exactly what this curb did to me. I've been seeing a bunch of my friends skate it on social media and it really just looks like the most fun thing ever. Some people may look at this and just see a ramp to an empty parking lot, but to a skater, this curb is like finding the perfect surf break with an endless wave. I finally decided to ask some of my friends where it is and I headed out there. Honestly, the spot absolutely lived up to the hype. Just board sliding it alone is absolutely so much fun. In my mind, I had the perfect trick for me to try there, a Darkslide. If somehow you don't know, Rodney Mullen, the legendary skateboarder who pretty much invented every single modern street skateboarding trick, also invented the Darkslide. To do a Darkslide, you flip the board over, slide on the grip tape, and then flip it back out when you want to land again. It kind of has this mystical allure to it for a few reasons. Firstly, it requires you to flip in and flip out of your grind, which is a solid feat in its own right. And secondly, when you do it, you kind of sacrifice your board to the Darkslide gods. Once you start sliding on your grip tape, the board won't ever be the same and you won't really be able to skate it normally anymore. The Tony Hawk's Pro Skater games featured special tricks and Darkslides were absolutely always one of them. Anyway, over the years, I have done some long Darkslides myself. But I've never done one this long. I measured out this curb to be about 130 feet long. Come to think of it, I don't think I've ever seen a Darkslide this long. So I guess technically this would be a world record. Honestly, I didn't really think this was going to be that hard. But I quickly realized that trying to stay on this whole thing was going to be really challenging. When you do a board slide, you kind of have the trucks to keep you locked into the board. You can kind of bounce around and just stay over the curb. But on a Darkslide, this is much harder to achieve because you basically have to do this all yourself. I had to be really active with my corrections and balance to really try to make myself stay on the ledge. I know I'm going kind of slow at the top, but you pick up so much speed by the end. I wanted to do it in a way that was actually going to be possible for me to land. Honestly, it really did feel like I was playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater and trying to hold my balance meter. I made it to the end and bailed the flip out a few times, and then I finally landed it. I was really stoked on the clip and happy that I got the opportunity to go there and do this. Whenever I do a trick that might be some kind of record or MBD, I personally go out of my way to make sure that I post it as soon as I possibly can. For example, San Francisco recently built this skate plaza with this absolutely perfect and beautiful 360-degree rail. I knew that everyone was going to want to grind around this, so on the first day it was open, I went out there, tried my best, and managed to get it done and posted it up. Sure enough, about a month or so later, I see legendary skater Grant Taylor also grinding all the way around it. Mine was technically frontside and his was technically backside, so I guess they are different tricks. But if I went there after him to do it, it does kind of seem like I'm trying to bite his shit. Even though in reality, the spot is just so desirable, like of course I want to do that. So what, right? Well, in skateboarding, we actually have a word for this. It is called ABD, meaning already been done. In layman's terms, it's doing the exact same trick at the exact same spot that was previously done by someone else. If you're willing to go and do someone else's ABD, it's kind of like ripping them off. I guess the best way to think of this is, say there's a painter who paints a picture of a clock melting by a lake. Then someone else paints a picture of a clock melting by a lake. Now, we don't really know if this second person did this on purpose or if they were just super into painting clocks melting by lakes as well. But if you are the second person doing this, it does kind of always seem like you're the person ripping off the original, whether that was your intent or not. Skateboarders take this pretty seriously, and there's even this dedicated IG page called Same Spot, Same Angle, where he finds every single time that this happens out in the streets. Okay, so that was kind of a long tangent, but that brings us to yesterday, where I did post the Darkslide on my Instagram. Pretty much straight away, Andy Anderson hits me up. I'm not gonna share our private conversation, but it was something to the effect of like, oh man, like I already did this, I was saving it for my video part, like that's cool that you did it. and like, you're a great skater, but damn, like, what are we gonna do now? This is like a little bit of a dicey situation. We went back and forth a little bit, and we both agreed that it's probably best for Andy to post his Darkslide now that he was previously saving for his video part that was scheduled to come out in a few months. It's a little bit unfortunate and frustrating for Andy because this is such a cool, sick trick that he was ready to have in his video part. But now, because of my actions, it's kind of like pushed his hand for him to release it early. Because if he holds on to the video part and then it comes out, everyone will say, oh, Ricky already did that, Ricky already did that. When the reality is Andy actually did that much before, but it's just the footage was being held and saved until his video part came out. So we both agreed that probably the best thing to do was for Andy to post it and let everybody know that he did it first, and that I just kind of coincidentally did it, and it was this unfortunate situation. To see Andy's perspective on this, we can read his caption. Filmed by Nigel Alexander, here it is. Was saving this for my new video part that comes out later this year, but just saw that Ricky Glaser did this trick and posted it. Congrats Ricky for accomplishing this Darkslide. Thank you, Andy. It definitely is a struggle to stay on since you don't have your trucks holding you in like you would for a board slide. Stoked to see there's someone else out there darksliding these days. As professional skateboarders, we come out with video parts now and then, and it's an unwritten rule that a skater can only, parentheses, should only, have tricks that have either never been done in general, or tricks that have been done on a specific spot. So for example, Rodney Mullen has done many darkslides in his video parts. So I cannot, parentheses, should not, go darkslide the exact same obstacle that he did, but I can do the same trick, parentheses darkslide, at a different spot. So the fact that Ricky landed this particular trick at this particular spot and posted it means that this clip of me doing the exact same trick on the exact same spot is no longer worthy of being in my video part. This is the game we play as skaters. There are many tricks in my part, and I just hope and pray that nobody will do them and post them before the time comes for me to post it all. After filming for more than 2 years, you can imagine the agony, hoping and praying I don't see a trick I filmed a year and a half ago showing up on Skateline MBD. There is one technique to preserving your tricks though. You can let other skaters know you did the trick for your part by getting a photo printed in a magazine like Thrasher or Juice magazine so other skaters know that they can't, parentheses, shouldn't, go and film that trick anymore. This was not printed in a skate media, and therefore there was no way for Ricky to know he was doing a trick I was trying to preserve. Plus, Ricky held his Darkslide to the very end of the curb while I popped out a few feet early. In the end, since Ricky posted it first, it's kind of like he owns it, and therefore I am stoked that when I asked him if it's cool with me posting mine right after, he said of course. Skateboarding is wild. So very cool write-up from Andy, and I feel like that gives him a bit of perspective, and it shows like the pain and frustration. But I gotta say, in this whole interaction, Andy was an absolute gent, and he was like, yo dude, did you read the caption? I wanna make sure you feel respected, but it's frustrating, blah, blah, blah. And I think Andy handled this perfectly. I don't think he really owes me anything. He has every right to post it and say, yo, I did it first, don't get it twisted. But I think it's cool that as friends that we can have this kind of back and forth and very civil way of just saying like, oops, I'm sorry that I did this. You did it first, let it be known. So I thought this was cool. I commented on him, love you buddy and sorry, let's Darkslide together soon. And I had a positive response. And honestly, I feel like the audience of skateboarding kind of liked to see that Andy and I were in this mishap together and both did a cool Darkslide. It was cool to see the positive feedback. Shout out to Wrecking Ball for being in there too. You guys think Wrecking Ball is coming back? Let me know. It's cool to see the differences in our Darkslides too. Andy went quite a little bit faster, but he popped out early, whereas I went a little bit slower, but went to the very end. But I think Andy got on a little earlier than me and I got on a little later. So I'm gonna say we combined have the record for the world's longest Darkslide, at least for now. I thought this was kind of an interesting situation to discuss, but I'll sign off with a montage of Andy and I skating together, ABDing each other's tricks. I love Andy and he's skating so much, and I'm apologetic for putting him in this situation. Is there anything you think either of us could have done differently? Let me know in the comments. Have you ever had a situation like this happen to you? Also, I'm thinking about making a video about the best Darkslides of all time, so if you want to see that, let me know. Enjoy the montage. That's it. I like skate.